Timeshifters hope that you enjoyed this rare and infamous moment that combines a first-rate disaster with genuine historical significance. But now it's time to take a deep breath as we prepare to temporally reset you. Are you ready?
Hey there, everyone. This is Christopher, and I'd like to welcome you to the Time Shifters podcast. On this show, Tom and I share our thoughts and reviews on movies and TV, mostly in the sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genres. And to do that, we got to get Tom here to start the conversation. So, Tom, how are you doing?
I feel like starting a conversation.
I'm glad, because we've definitely have some stuff to talk about this episode.
Absolutely.
First off, I wanted to kind of throw back to one of the independent films we recently reviewed, The Guard Room.
Yes.
As I said, we got that sent to us by the writer and director, Michael Thorson, and he actually wrote us. He wrote us an email. He listened to the podcast.
Yes.
And he sent an email to us. He says, "Thanks again for watching the movie and discussing it in your podcast. Appreciate hearing feedback and your perspectives on The Guard Room. We were supposed to get a more realistic officer uniform, but that fell through on the day of the shoot, and we had to make a trip to the Halloween store. Such is the struggle of indie filmmaking."
It is.
Also, another fun fact, the film was inspired by my first security job where I learned the guard I replaced was stabbed and ended up in the hospital. Thankfully still alive, though.
Oh, that's good.
And he does mention that The Guard Room will be coming to streaming platforms later this year. Awesome. I'm glad he listened to the show, and I'm glad he appreciated the feedback. I know I'd like to think we were fairly kind on it. We didn't dislike the movie. We thought it had that independent film, the problems of many independent films that can't be avoided.
Those low budget qualities that they're hard to get over, but not necessarily takeaways, but they add a level of amusement at times.
At times.
Especially the police officer's uniform. But yeah, I love the feedback. I love that feedback. That's awesome. You got stuck, you went with it. I love it. That's awesome.
No. Yeah, I know. It kind of makes you appreciate it more, doesn't it?
It does. Those little tidbits often make something a little more endearing.
I will definitely be keeping my ear to the rail on The Guard Room and letting everybody know when it actually hits streaming platforms so that you can go check it out yourself.
I always love it when we make connections with the creators because it adds a level of fun and hopefully all of our critique is taken for what it is. It's intended with love. We love movies. We know they're not all fantastic, and we only hope that by providing any information, it leads to continued work and improvement.
Yeah, it's meant as constructive criticism, if it's criticism at all. Not every movie is everybody's favorite, so... So anyway, you've been up to anything fun?
It's been a busy time because it's spring break in our world here. So there's and with a young gentleman getting older and growing toward things like college, it tends to start creating new and more interesting challenges to go with. So.
I'm sure.
So there's not been a whole lot of sitting down and watching a bunch of things. There was even a series I managed to make my way. Oh, there's one I'm still making my way through, which is interesting. It's on HBO. It's a Jason Bateman and what's his name? David Harbour. In a story called DTF St. Louis, Down to F St. Louis. It's
all right.
It is this very odd story of a pair of friends that get themselves into a scenario where it appears one of the friends killed the other friend. May or may not actually be the case as this unfolds, but it's a limited series, and I didn't realize when I watched the first 4 episodes, I thought that was going to be it, and I didn't realize I came in the middle. So I got more to go. But it is a fascinating watch, and it goes over what upper middle class suburban life, boredom in relationships, but good relationships and friendship, how they get weird and muddy and tangled, especially when you might have a bit of perversion in your life of some kind. So
understood.
But
gotcha.
I always enjoyed Jason Bateman's work and David Harbour, so it's an interesting mix. So more to come on that, but I did kind of binge those first 4 episodes and was a little disappointed when I wasn't done.
Yeah, I like Jason Bateman. I haven't seen him in a lot of things. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but the little that I've seen, he just seems like, I don't know, he seems like one of those guys you kind of want to hang with.
He does, and I've been, I've watched a good hunk of his work, both the comedy stuff that he would do in movies, to the Ozarks, which series, if you haven't watched it, that one's amazing. Yeah, the stuff he ties himself to is well thought out, and it challenges him. He doesn't, when you're used to thinking about where he came from, all of his sitcom work as a teenager growing up, where he's just the face you saw and everything, and he was always kind of the clean-cut, positive kid in all the stuff. So watching him get into grittier, nastier, darker stuff is a lot of fun. So,
yeah, I appreciate that he has taken his career in the direction that he has. It is, as you said, he's very selective. He doesn't seem like I'll do anything. Yeah. It's I'll do anything that I find interesting.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I'll mention this one because I hope this is one of those weird off-color Christmas movies that comes. A couple years ago, he did one called Carry On. It was kind of in the vein of Die Hard, and he plays the bad guy in it.
Nice.
And it was really good and a lot of fun. And it's actually become, for my son and I, we watch it once per year now.
Oh,
it's
nice.
part of our Christmas rotation.
Tradition.
Yeah. Yes, because we throw that in our oddball collection of Christmas movies like Gremlins and Krampus and all the ones that aren't always warm and cuddly.
Nice. That's very cool.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
I just kind of got a hair. I guess I was looking for something else, and I noticed that I had this DVD set. It was an old Mill Creek 50 sci-fi invasion films or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't looked through that in a while. So I started throwing these discs in there, and they're bad. I mean, they're Mill Creek. They're all, it's 4 movies on a disc kind of quality. So you're practically watching like 3rd generation VHS.
Yeah.
There's a couple films throughout out of this 50. There's a few that are actually worth watching, and there's a few that are just awful. There's a few that have found their way on like MST or Riff Tracks.
Right.
Yeah, so I've been just kind of watching a few of these schlocky things to kind of get myself out of that. I did just throw in on a whim the movie Forbidden Planet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just because, okay, I need something better quality, shinier.
A palate cleanser.
So I did watch that. It was the first time I'd watched that in several years, and so that was fun. For First Contact Day, April 5th this year. Was that right? 5th? Yes.
Yes.
I watched Star Trek First Contact.
Nice. Always a fun watch.
Always a fun watch. It's one of my favorite of the Trek films. It's certainly the best of the Next Generation Trek
definitely.
films. It actually brought something else along that's made me very happy. Is my wife was up and she watched it. I'm pretty sure she had watched at least some of it before, but this is the first time she actually watched the whole thing from beginning to end. And a couple days later, she comes to me and says, I know it'd be a huge undertaking, but I'm kind of interested. I'd like to actually watch all of Trek.
Oh my God.
God, I don't know if a woman could say anything to make a man more happy.
Didn't know this was an attempt to rekindle the romance, but all right. But yeah, the question is does she know what she just asked for?
Oh, she does. She's already, I'm sure, looked into how much and what that involves.
I mean, she's picked an interesting year to do that in.
Yeah, here we go. The 60th anniversary of Trek.
Right. So she's got 60 years worth of content on and off, admittedly.
So, yeah. After a brief discussion, we've decided we would do it chronologically from air date.
Okay.
So we were not going to do like Enterprise and then TOS or anything like that. We'll start with
TOS.
Start original series,
TNG,
next gen,
or the movies, and then TNG.
Yeah, or wherever TNG fits in. Probably do all the original series movies before getting into TNG.
Yeah, you could do the movies up through 6, and then do TNG, and then pick up from there.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, because she is a completist when it comes to this stuff, it also means I have to watch things like Star Trek V and Generations.
Yeah. Well,
and Nemesis. So it's going to be,
as we all know, the odd movies, which both pair with number and status.
I will come to the defense to Star Trek 3 to some extent.
Sure, but that's like saying it's the best of the odd numbered films.
And it is.
It is, yes. It's the top of that list. Right. So it's not... It is a watchable and enjoyable film, but obviously not in the same vein as some of the others.
I'm not clear when it's going to... how and where that's going to stop. I think we'll be able to stop before we get up to the 2009... Trek.
If she's the completist at heart, no, you're not.
Yeah, well, we shall see. I do wonder if this is going to. Because I have the TOS Blu-rays. Am I going to be allowed to buy like the TNG Blu-rays now?
Oh, and how completist are you going to be, too? Because after you finish TOS, you should be doing TOS animated.
Yeah, we'll probably skip over the animated stuff.
I'd almost recommend not.
No, they are. Some of them are actually pretty good stories.
The animated stuff...
They're short anyway.
They are short, and there wasn't much to it, so you could clear that out pretty easily. But I actually found when I sat down and finally watched them, and I didn't watch them till like the past few years. I'd never seen them originally. Yeah. I actually found them eminently enjoyable. Like some of the stories were solid.
Yeah, no, I thought the same way. I do remember watching them when they originally aired, but as a kid, I certainly didn't appreciate them for what they were. I watched them 3 years ago, maybe, or whatever, and I had the same experience you did. I was like, wow, these are actually really good stories. Some of them.
I mean,
I'll say
it's
some
still
of them.
cartoon stuff, so between the brevity and all of that, you do have to deal with that. But it had the advantage in being animated that they got to include alien elements that they couldn't do live stuff because they didn't have the budget to do it right or necessarily the technology. So
Right. So yeah, that makes a very good point. So maybe when we finish TOS, we'll knock out the animated series before we jump into the motion picture.
not to mention, you almost kind of have to do it because if you do go completist and you go later, say you even make it all the way to the Starfleet Academy, which I have yet to watch, you actually need that because there are species that came out of the animated series that shows up in some other things because they never appeared originally. They do take advantage of it later. So it's worth doing. I'd encourage it.
Yep, I will definitely suggest that, and I do have those at my disposal as well. So
This is I love that this is going to be quite the ride for the two of you.
well, and it is something that I would have loved to have suggested it myself, but after dragging her and my son through 60 years of Doctor Who already, I felt I really couldn't ask it of anybody.
No, I mean, you've been given the gift of it was her idea.
Yeah.
It may be a bit on her part, careful what you wish for, but actually I kind of hope she latches on to everything that's good about it that the rest of us kind of do.
I hope so. I think she will be a little surprised at some of the stories while told cheaply.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the themes behind them are incredibly interesting, and some of them are very progressive.
And if she made it through early Doctor Who, this will be a breeze. Because early Doctor Who is hard.
It's rough. It is rough. And at least this is all in color.
That was even the least of my concerns about early Doctor Who. Some of it was just hard storytelling, very low budget. So, yeah. So this at least has the advantage of being a bit more polished.
Yeah. So I don't know when we're going to start that, but I will keep you posted.
Oh, no, please. And I'll be excited when she gets to some of the really good stuff. Like when you get into third season TNG, or you finally make it deep enough in and you're getting Strange New Worlds for your first visuals of that. Because as much as I like Strange New Worlds too, it's just visually appealing. It's just beautiful.
Well, and that's what's kind of sparked this in her, is that she has seen much of the latter stuff. She's watched some Picard.
Okay.
She's watched all of Strange New Worlds.
Cool.
She enjoys Academy more than I did.
Okay.
And she's seen a smattering of the original stuff and the Next Generation, just here and there.
Right.
But she feels like there's gaps, and I think she feels like there's times where things happen and people say things, and she's like, you know, when you're walking in the middle of a conversation and you don't know exactly what everyone's talking about.
Right.
I think that's where that's how she's feeling right now, even watching some of this latter stuff.
See, I didn't even realize she's caught some of that, so actually kind of wondering if if after seeing some of Strange New Worlds, or rather you said all of Strange New Worlds, dialing all the way back to TOS will be like dragging a needle across the record. Because I'm like, it is where it came from, but it doesn't look the same.
Yeah. Wait till she learns what Pike's fate is. Oh my goodness.
Does she not know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she has 100%.
Did she watch second season Discovery with you? That's when they introduce Pike and they do the fact that he actually knows what's going to happen to him.
No, she did not. She came into Discovery. How many seasons did that run? 4 or 5?
5, I believe. 6?
5, yeah. She came in probably in the 3rd season.
Okay.
I think maybe even after they found themselves in the 32nd century or whatever the hell it is.
Season on.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Then, yes, that might be a bit, especially given Captain Hare himself is...
I mean, she's definitely seen some of the flashbacks in Strange New Worlds and everything that hint at it and everything, but she hasn't actually seen the TOS episode that I can...
Cage/menagerie.
Right. So.
Well, it'll be a fun ride for you.
Absolutely. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and take a break here. We'll listen to a pro for the podcast, and then we need to get into and start talking about 2011's Melancholia.
For a spine-tingling, nerve-shattering podcast featuring all your favorite monsters. You won't believe your ears when you listen to Monster Kid Radio. Hear your host, Derek M. Cook, and his ever-rotating stable of guests discuss your favorite classic and sometimes not-so-classic monster movies. Subscribe to Monster Kid Radio through iTunes or Stitcher, or visit monsterkidradio.net before the next weekly episode of Monster Kid Radio. Go through the archives for interviews with Sarah Karloff, Victoria Price, and Joel Hodgson. Listen to discussions about movies like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Island of Terror, and King Kong. And don't forget convention coverage from Monster Bash and the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. Classic monsters, modern talk, and the head of Rondo Hatton, only on Monster Kid Radio!
Melancholia was written and directed by Lars Van Trier, starring Kirsten Dunst, Charlotte Gainsbourg, Kiefer Sutherland with Alexander Skarsgård, John Hurt, and Udo Kier. Melancholia is the second film in the Von Trier's unofficially titled Depression trilogy. It was preceded in 2009 by Antichrist and followed by Nymphomaniac in 2013. Time Shifters will not be following up with this trilogy as we did with the Terry Gilliam.
I don't think we could take it.
On the 18th of May, 2011, Melancholia premiered at the 64th Cannes Film Festival, where it received critical acclaim, and Dunst won the festival's Best Actress Award for her performance. Many critics and film scholars have considered the film to be a masterpiece, and it was included in the 2016 poll of the greatest film since 2000, conducted by the BBC, and has since been featured in various listings of the best films of the 21st century. In the film, Justine and Michael are newly married and arrive at their reception hosted by Justine's sister Claire and brother-in-law John at their large estate. The party goes until the early morning hours, in which time Justine finds herself falling into bouts of depression. Later, we learn that a rogue planet is heading towards Earth. Reportedly, it will fly by and miss striking the planet. Justine's depression destroys her marriage, and she comes to live with Claire and John, who's an astronomy hobbyist, is very excited about the impending flyby, but Claire worries that the scientists are wrong and the end is near. Tom, tell me again how this film came across your radar. Was this something that you had seen, or had someone suggested it?
No, I had actually seen this one once before, and it's one of those, and it's because of the very heavy topic of this, which it is indeed a film about depression and how it impacts a person. I see you scowling.
We'll get to it.
We can get to it. But I remember the premise being very intriguing, and then I was triggered again when we saw the more recent End of the World movie, and I'm going to blank on the name because...
When Worlds Collide?
When Worlds Collide, because this is a parallel to that of a sort, because same circumstances, there is a planet coming, only in this case, instead of trying to solve the problem and save humanity, we're going to focus entirely on what it is doing to one family. So that's how that came to be.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I couldn't remember if this was something you'd said you'd watched or if it was just someone suggested based on the theme or something.
I also had a Kirsten Dunst phase for a while, so she was in it, and I'm like, okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, fair enough. And she is really good in it. I can definitely see where she is worthy of awards for her performance in this film. Everyone, I think, is actually very well acted. You know,
no, this is a star-studded cast.
Oh, absolutely, and no one I feel like is really miscast or anything like that. Wife and I both watched this film, and frankly, neither one of us liked this thing. Nope, we really didn't, and. I mean, this thing is well over 2 hours. Is it like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that?
It's not brief.
No, it is not brief. And a good portion of that is, thanks to about 9 minutes of nothing at the beginning of the film. It just seems to plod along. Granted, it is shot beautifully. And as I said, it's well acted. But it just meanders.
Which is kind of part of the point. First off, that 9 minutes that you're just blowing off, which, granted...
It's a beautiful, artistic 9 minutes.
It's an overture.
Yes.
It is a lead-in. This is an opera. In and of itself. With the music, with the story... I mean, operas are not usually warm and fuzzy. There's not usually a happy ending.
True.
So this is very much a filmography version of an opera, right down to the music, and that's what you're getting is you're getting the opening overture. I mean, it's Wagner even while you're watching it, and that first, as you said, the first 9 minutes. You are getting what you're about to see in its entirety condensed into 9 minutes in a visual and musical format. It's kind of like, here's the Cliff Notes version, the pretty Cliff Notes version, but the Cliff Notes version, and then we're going to get into the story. And then the way they break that up, I was picking on it at first, and then till I was thinking about it a little bit more. The way they break that up into the 2 chapters, we have a chapter for Justine, and then we have a chapter for Claire. And the funny thing is it's still all about Justine, all the way through. What it is you watch a young woman in her position devolve into her state of depression. It is literally destroying her real time in front of your eyes. That is the most chaotic wedding that ever could have been ever. And what's interesting is it has nothing to do with the end of the world.
No.
Like at that stage, they don't know what is happening as far as the planet, which is called Melancholia. But they don't know anything about that. There's just a glimmer. Hey, there's a star that wasn't there before, and Justine's the one to catch it. She notices it in the sky. Even her brother-in-law doesn't. He's kind of like, oh yeah, I think that's that. He's not sure what he's talking about just yet. So, any of the circumstances during that wedding have nothing to do with their impending doom. It is just literally her falling apart in real time. And what's interesting is you see her hit her ultimate low at the middle of the movie where we enter into Claire's story. And then it rolls reversed as Justine starts to come out of some of her depression, almost empowered by the end of the world. You watch Claire fall apart during all of that. And all of this is supposed to be about the meaninglessness of our lives. That ultimately the things that we do, the things that we feel, the things that we think all end up in the same place, which is nothing. It's very nihilistic.
Oh, very much. The film is, you've said it yourself, and in most of the reviews and comments and stuff that you see of this film, it's the whole, depression trilogy. It's about depression. It's her depiction of depression and everything. And I mean, in no way belittling the people who suffer from depression. It is a thing. I'm very familiar with it, diagnosed and undiagnosed. I feel like, though, in this film, whether it was Von Trier or his publicists or whatever, I think they got ahead of this film, because there is one scene and a couple lines in this film that I feel like undoes that to some extent.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the film, Justine mentions to Claire that look like she knows things. She knows things that other people don't know. And she knew how many beans were in the jar at her reception, even though she was nowhere near when the number was revealed. So she is somehow some sort of, she's like psychic. She has some tie to the universe. So she always knew that this planet was going to strike Earth. So it's either saying it's not depression. She's just depressed because she knows the planet is going to end. Or it's saying that all the people who suffer from depression are somehow tied into the universe and therefore know how meaningless it all is.
I could see how you might take it in that direction, but I'd probably postulate a little different. When you're that driven by your own depression, anything that reinforces it feeds on. It's feeding off of itself. I think at this stage she's delusional anyway. I mean, she's already been hospitalized. Even though she seems to be gaining a little more strength and all that, she's empowered by her end, which only justifies how she felt the entire time. So I don't know if you could take all of that as I'm psychic necessarily. More like, because I feel the way I feel, this was always going to happen. And here's the thing, in her mind, whether it was a planet that crashed into it or whether she just passed of her own doing, which was very possible. If anything, the empowerment I take from the fact that the planet is, she doesn't have to do it to herself.
It's the line about the beans in the jar.
She
687. She knew the number of beans in the jar, and so it's like, okay, why is that there? Why does she know that? Why do you bring that up for this if it doesn't mean anything?
In this case, I think it's not so much that it doesn't mean anything, it's that she's using it as justification for how she feels about all this, and the fact that she's happy. It's all about to be over.
But how does she know? It's the right answer.
It's the right answer. I don't know that she knew. She got told. That's where my head's at. I'm not putting any kind of... this movie went out of its way to be fairly grounded about the whole thing, that we didn't enter into sci-fi, fantasy, mythological, magical stuff to solve any of this. This was all intended as just follow this family through their trials right up to the point of impact. So I think it's just more of her delusion on top of the symptoms she already had.
All right.
That's how I read it.
That is an
It
interpretation.
is an interpretation. I am short of getting Von Trier here to talk about it. Yeah, I couldn't say for certain, but that's where I'm going with it. Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, for a film that tries very hard to be grounded in our reality, it ignores physics entirely.
Sure.
That is definitely, a planet passing this close to Earth.
It'd destroy us anyway. Yeah, it'd just rip us apart. Especially the size it was.
It's not this minor inconvenience and, oh no, it's okay. It just took a little bit of our atmosphere with it. It'll be fine. Why did the power turn off? Don't know. Yeah, where's the volcanoes? Where's the earthquakes?
Granted, but that since that wasn't intended to be the thrust of this film,
no, I get it.
They skip over that part.
I guess I'm having a hard time with this one because I didn't enjoy this one, and maybe you're not supposed to. No,
it's not a. I don't believe you were.
No, I didn't care for the fact that I was watching this, and it's actually something I've noticed with just a lot of not professional critics, but just people who have watched the film. Many of them will say it was beautiful. It was this a really great and realistic depiction of depression. I never want to watch this again.
To be fair, when I watched it the first time, I wanted nothing to do with the film ever again. If I hadn't watched the one, I wouldn't have even thought of this one. Because even watching it again, as beautiful as it is, as well acted as it is, as poignant as some of the points it's trying to make are, and the dramatic ending, which you get to see twice, more or less. I don't need this in my life. I just don't. No.
I suppose I would have been more interested in the film if it hadn't been focused on just this one family in their castle.
And that's fair. That is completely fair. But the one thing I give a little, aside from the fact it was going to lead to the more beautiful settings and all of that, they were going to have access to some of the best countryside, a gorgeous home that is unreasonable for anyone to experience at all ever, and shouldn't anyway. I will make that clear. Anyone that can afford that shouldn't. Flat out. However, the fact that even the overprivileged, the end comes for you too, and in this particular case, makes anything that you collected or built or loved or imagined irrelevant because it's all about to be wiped from existence forever and all time. No archaeological find either. Nothing. God. No. The fact that can happen to this class of folk is, I think, part of the point.
That's very possible. Okay, I like that.
Class won't save you. Money won't save you. There is no coming back from this. I took it for that as well. That's my interpretation. Whether that's intended, I do not know.
Yeah, because I'm certainly watching these people, and honestly, other than young Leo, who seemed to be an innocent, and their horse Alexander, I think his name was, outside of those two, there wasn't anyone that was truly likable in this movie, and you didn't want to see have hit by a planet.
No, I did find that I was at least sympathetic toward Cousin Tim. The poor young man that is picked on by his uncle to follow her around because Justine is supposed to be like this marketing mogul kind of person, and her father-in-law to be, or is, I guess, since the wedding already happened, is pressing her for some tagline that he wants.
For tagline or slogan for some product
for this promotion
image,
or whatever it is that he's doing, that he's literally hired his nephew to follow her around and get it out of her, which on her wedding night is already obscene that this guy wants to do this. He is an eminently unlikable person, and actually watching her shout him down and basically go, screw you, I want none of this, go away. But the fact that Tim is not only brought into this to hound her all night, but then becomes the object of her wild release from her marriage.
Yeah.
In the middle of a sand trap on a golf course. And the fact that that scene is it's sad, it's unsexy, it's intended to be that way, but the fact that Tim has to go through all of this, it couldn't have even been enjoyable for him, because like, what the hell is going on? I actually found him to be the most sympathetic character in the entire bunch. Just this poor pawn that's been led around by his nose by his own family, and it's just so bad. Like, if anyone has any right to feel depression, it's that guy. Maybe
coming in second place might be the poor butler. I felt like he was pretty put upon, and Kiefer Sutherland's John was not kind to him.
No.
At any point. Oh, there's that one moment when John's carrying the telescope and the butler offers to help, and you don't touch the equipment. Like, Jesus, Evan, come on.
Not to mention, you pay him to be helpful.
Right.
It's literally his job to do what he can to help you out, and you're barking back at him like that. Again, more of that, this just kind of feeds that whole notion that I have that in the end, your class doesn't matter when death comes for you.
Right. No, fair enough. Yeah, and they do depict everybody. Certainly, Justine is indeed suffering from depression, whether it's chemical imbalance or emotion, whatever's causing it, her psychic connection to the universe, whatever,
if that's what you
whatever,
want to go with, sure.
or whatever it is. The people around her, that's where I truly think this film excels at, is the way it portrays the people around her who do not understand and don't try to understand. Yeah. John just wants her to get over it.
Right.
He's tired of it. And Claire isn't all that much better. No. She tries to be sympathetic, but only to a point.
No, but this leads more into your conversation about just how vile most of the characters are. I mean, their mother and father are just the worst.
Do you think Justine was adopted?
You mean based off of if they're going for looks, Justine doesn't look like any of them?
No, I'm going by the fact that her father is John Hurt, with a British accent. Her mother is Gabby is Charlotte Rampling with a British accent. Her sister is Claire with a British accent. Kirsten Dunst does not have a British accent.
Either she's adopted or people gave Kirsten Dunst too much credit for the film.
Maybe she was a sister that they sent off to American college or something like that, or
perhaps, but usually if you've grown up long enough, that unless you're actively working to rid yourself of the accent, they don't tend to go away.
This was supposed, where this place is set is, it's Never Land.
Right.
All the license plates say Pennsylvania, but they live on the seaside with islands and everything off the shore. So there's no way that are they in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that chateau didn't exactly exist on Lake Erie.
No. So, yeah, I'm not convinced this is our Earth.
Perhaps not, and given the outcome, I hope not.
I hope not. Right. So I was just curious. They don't explain it or even try to explain it anywhere in the film, and maybe it's just one of these things that you're not even supposed to ask. You just go with it. Movie magic. It is what it is.
Perhaps, but while on the topic, I'm going to propose a question to you that I think the film kind of invokes, but is not intended. Can you think of a better way to go?
What, hanging out in a castle?
No. I don't mean all of that. I just mean if the end's going to come, having the whole planet taken out.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd prefer that over the chance that I might be a survivor.
Right, but no, I found myself actually questioning if this was a thing that was going to happen. It's going to happen, assuming you could manage to not go the way John chose to go.
Yeah, the coward's way out.
Especially with his family there.
Yeah.
For somebody so, and I believe that was part of the point of the film, since it is about depression in and of itself. The fact that he was so dismissive of her depression, but allowed it to hit him all at once and actually take himself out, knowing his family was still waiting for the end to happen, and he didn't even tell them.
Right.
That was awful, but then you can see just the levels of how depression does impact a person.
I was very surprised that this story didn't go the route of him taking out the son, either instead of or as well as himself.
Yeah, because they were very focused on how close the father and son were in the film. I mean, they were glued at the hip most of the time.
As much as this film was trying to put Claire through the ringer in that last hour, that definitely would not have been off the table.
No, and actually I was kind of prepared when they had when Claire had that meal ready for her and her sister and her son. After
I thought
John
the same thing.
had already taken himself out. Although he was awful greedy, I think she bought the bottle of whatever it was that she bought that he used to kill himself. I think that was intended for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Claire was preparing for, is if this goes sideways, I don't know that I want to be here to see it come. But the fact that he took it all was greedy as hell, but I was prepared for her to have another way out to just take them all out.
Mm-hmm.
But
yep, I was thinking the same thing when they're all sitting there eating their pancakes or whatever. I'm like, is someone going to say they taste funny? Or
right.
Yeah.
Or I was waiting for the little boy to get sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love almonds. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. This is where it was interesting to see Justine kind of rally and find a way for them to all go in a way that was going to make it as okay as this was ever gonna be. She made a game of it for the boy. Without him entirely understanding what was about to happen. By making it okay for the boy, made it okay for Claire. She wasn't happy, it was obvious, but she went with it because there is no choice. This is not a thing that you get to say, no, I'm not doing it. And then watching that final scene where they've erected their little magical teepee thing on the hillside, and you get to watch the planet barreling down on them. It was a satisfying ending, as much as you were going to get out of this. Just watching watching people come to terms with their end and go in eyes wide open. It was, if you're going to be in that scenario, it's kind of where you kind of hope you are when you get there.
I am sure that there is a part of me that couldn't really wrap myself around this film just because of the other films that I tend to watch.
Sure.
And so even though I know it's not that kind of film, there's that part of me in the brain that's like, and then what happens? And, you know, what about, and, you know, where's the hero, or where's the spaceship, or where's the survivors? And I'm like, oh no, wait, no, that's it. That's the end. Right.
And while, is everything in anybody's life going to be just like it is in this? No. Depending on how you've read Justine, and I think in this case, it's because you want more of what you're used to. It's why I'm not reading it that way. I would love for there to be an element of that. I think she's just not all there anymore. I mean, she obviously was falling apart, and now that she's just out. But this is I see this movie as a reset for all of the things that we're all in hero worship mode all the time. We want that savior. We want that thing. And in the end, and for all of us, there is not one. The end comes for us all, maybe not as grandiose as that, but like, you can't always be saved. There is no saving. Right. And I think that was part of the point of this film.
All right. Nope. Fair enough. Well, like I said, it was just, if you'd taken out that one line, you could have had her sitting there telling Claire, I know things. This is the only planet with life. We're the only ones. There is no one's ever gonna, you know, and we're evil. That's fine. That fits in with the depression speaking for her. That's fine. It's just that one line about, I know things, 687, that's the amount of beans that were in the bottle. And Claire was the only one that knew that. And so, like, erase that line and I'd have that's less of an issue with this film what it's trying to portray.
That's fair. I get how that could throw a person, but either way, this is something that you watch and it might be okay that you never watch it again.
It is definitely one. It's not going to go on my repeat playlist or anything.
No, perhaps not. And rightfully so. I when I saw it, I didn't think I would until this day.
All right. Maybe not surprisingly, I do not have any social media to read on this one.
Either people have blanked or they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, as you have even indicated, there is lots of stuff. I had a fun time finding some of it. In fact, the last one I included just because of how unhinged it kind of became. And of course, this was my time to be frustrated by paywalls.
Oh.
And I'm going to take a moment with the paywall thing just for a second. I understand that these organizations need to take in some income to continue to fuel future stories and writings and all that. I honor that. That's an acceptable thing to want to do. However, I think when it comes to the paywall part, when you're past a certain period of time on writing, let it go. This film is from 2011. I think I should be allowed to read your review from 2011.
15 years ago?
Yeah. I think that's anything over a decade. Maybe just make that be okay to look up from a historical point of view. You don't need to collect my nickels so that I can read this one article.
No. Well, maybe someday down in the future I can... we'll be able to afford to give you an allowance that will allow you to get through it. But I do agree with you that after a certain amount of time, yeah.
And it's weird where you run into them. The New York Times is notorious for this, but even like one of the ones I was gonna pull from was Miami Herald. Like Miami Herald, I'm sure in Miami you are quite the paper and all that, but you're not New York Times.
No.
So
New York Times charges you to play their games.
I know, and that's obscene too.
You want to do Sudoku? That'll be $9.99 a month. Yeah.
Right. At any rate, going into these, I'll start with, of course, where I like to start, Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert. If I were choosing a director to make a film about the end of the world, Von Trier, the gloomy Dane, might be my first choice. And then skipping past a little bit, he says, in the cast of Von Trier's characters, impending doom seems to have created a mental state of dazed detachment. They continue to act as if their personal concerns have the slightest relevance. Von Trier has never made a more realistic domestic drama depicting a family that is dysfunctional, not in crazy ways, but in ways showing a defiant streak of intelligent individualism. So, if you're talking about people with those kind of means, their self-obsessions are the things that drive them. You could have told everybody at that party the world was ending in 1 month's time, and they'd have still carried on just like they did.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of the Miami Herald, Rene Rodriguez. Leave it to Von Trier to conceive an intergalactic sci-fi metaphor for a psychological disorder, and then make it work so astonishingly well. So, they liked it.
Yeah.
New York Times, A.O. Scott. Melancholia is empathetically not what anyone would call a feel-good movie. And yet it nonetheless leaves behind a glow of aesthetic satisfaction. Interested in the art of it all.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
Yes. San Francisco Chronicle, Mick LaSalle. If only Lars von Trier took into account that audiences might actually want to enjoy Melancholia rather than endure it or sift through it or submit to the director's will, he might have made something extraordinary. So, like you, didn't want to be pounded to death with the dream.
No, I like that. Endured it. Yes. That's kind of how I feel.
You are one who has endured, and now you've shifted to the sift through phase.
Yeah, well, and that is something here that I feel like. Granted, we are critics of films. We watch films, and we try to sift through films to find either the good, the bad, what works, what doesn't, and that sort of thing. I don't feel like you should have to in order to get anything out of the film. That's just it. And I feel like this film does. It forces you to sit there and pull it apart and pull this and pull that and sit through it and endure, as this last critic said, rather than just watching the film and taking it everything on the surface.
No, and fair. It depends on what you want from it. This is one where I have to put it squarely in the category, and I am one that maligns the category on occasion, art film. It wants to be what it is, whether you like it or not. And that doesn't necessarily make it entertaining or even worthy of watching. But you take from it what you get. So the last one, and you'll be amused by this, because on Metacritic, when I found this one, was a flat 0. No points for this film whatsoever. Observer, Rex Reed.
I know him. Okay, yes. I know of him. Excuse me, yeah.
Yes, then you're going to enjoy this. Melancholia is his latest pile of undiluted drivel. Nauseatingly filmed by a wonky handheld camera and featuring a crazy, mismatched ensemble headed by Kirsten Dunst, who won an acting award in Cannes last year for looking totally catatonic. Needless to say, Rex didn't care for the film.
No, and granted, that was what the role required, was for her to appear that way, and she does. She accomplishes it.
And Rex, I'd like to say, it sounds like your life hasn't been touched by clinical depression in any way, shape, or form. Kudos
Lucky
to you.
Yeah.
But for those that have seen or felt it, that catatonic is real. So, but I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. He's the one who is prepared to kick a movie that is already down in its own depression. He is prepared to kick while it lays on the ground. But yes, that'll wrap up the professionals.
All right, well, fair enough. So you got the professionals and you got us.
Yes.
We are a little torn on this thing. I definitely admit that the film has its merits. I just don't know if it. I don't know.
It's not filling a need for you.
No, it absolutely not. Maybe it's just a matter of, do I want to see something this real and raw? Maybe it's just a matter of what do I watch movies for? What's the reason I watch movies for?
And that part is fair, which is why I don't flock to this stuff. I try it on occasion just to see if I get something out of it that I didn't get from something else. But but yeah, you won't find me sitting down with a bunch of Danish depressing films on the regular.
Right. Yeah. I guess I look more for, especially in films that pretend to be anything science fiction, I guess I look for them to be more on the metaphorical side versus this is the real, this is what it really looks like sort of thing. And maybe like I said, it's just because of the type of films I gravitate towards. I think that's what colors my judgment of this one.
No, that's fair. And I'm trying to remember the name of the other one we watched as part of the Mars sequence where the ship just drifts forever.
Oh, and Inaria.
Inaria, thank you. I put this in the same category as Inaria.
Yeah, and I found myself enjoying that one so much more for some reason.
Yeah, and
maybe it's because it was set in a more fantastical world.
It does at least take you from, you can appreciate what's happening without feeling like this could be down the road from you.
Yeah, maybe that's it. If there was enough of a detachment, that it wasn't like reminding me of my own life or anything.
Right. And admittedly, that's part of the point of this one, perhaps, is you're supposed to feel it like it could actually happen. And ultimately, you're supposed to divorce yourself even from the planet crashing into ours. It's just, this is what some people go through. And the metaphor is, for somebody that feels this way, the world is ending.
Right.
They feel it to the core of themselves that the world is ending. In this case, it just happened to be true. So,
yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. So will that do it for Melancholia?
Yes, it will.
All right. Our next episode, while I won't say it's going to be any more cheery, it is going to be, I think, pretty interesting. It was a film that I stumbled upon in the 50 movie box set that I was talking about earlier. It is a film called 984, Prisoner of the Future. This is from 1982. It's apparently also called Tomorrow Man, you might find it under. It's a Canadian made-for-TV film, and after we watch this film, I think you'll find it rather interesting that this was made for TV.
Yeah.
It is currently available on Tubi at the time of this recording, if you're curious to check that out. And I have a feeling you could probably find it on YouTube and a few other sketchier locations. I don't think it's being very well guarded by anybody.
No. Probably not.
So it is a film you should be able to go out and catch. You're never going to be able to find an actual, like, clean and crisp copy. Unfortunately, what you're going to find, you're going to feel like you're watching it on an old VHS or something. So bear that in mind if you choose to check it out. Other than that, thank you very much for listening to the Time Shifters podcast. We would love to hear your thoughts on this episode, whether it's feedback, questions, or just something you want to share. Reach out via email or drop a comment on any of our social media posts. Just follow the link in the show notes or head to timeshifterspodcast.com.
If you've got a moment, please consider leaving a rating or review, preferably not in a state of depression. It really helps more people discover the show, and who knows, they might become listeners too.
If you're feeling extra generous, toss a little support our way at Ko-fi.com. Go to Ko-fi.com/TSPOE podcasts. Every bit of that goes towards web hosting and production costs. This show will always be free and not behind any paywalls, but any help you can provide is truly appreciated.
Or if you'd rather get something cool for your support, check out our merch at TeePublic or Dashery. Links are in the show notes and on our site. You'll be helping us out and supporting some awesome independent artists at the same time.
As we've learned from this film, all the money you might have isn't really going to do you any good, right? So you might as well buy a cool t-shirt or, some shorts or a new hat.
You could do that. I also like to think of it this way. The difference between the professional critics and us is pay. So anyone wants to move us into that category, we're all game.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks again, everyone. We will catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.